News is out of southwest Omaha, where police are currently investigating an armored car robbery. Around 11 this morning, officers responded to the reports of a robbery right outside of the First Interstate Bank at 126th and L Streets. Investigators say armed suspects drove up in a pickup that approached the armored car personnel as they were refilling an ATM with cash. There was a brief struggle before the robbery suspects fled the scene with an unknown amount of cash. Police are still searching for the people responsible.
It's not a terribly uncommon MO for personnel, whether that be armored cars or ATM service repair technicians, to be approached while they're in the performance of their job duties. Our job at this point is to see if this MO does match any other ones that we've had in the past.
We're told that one of the armored car personnel asked to be evaluated by medics, but fortunately nobody was seriously injured. OPD says they are working to collect surveillance video from surrounding businesses as they look for the robbers. More breaking news now. Omaha Police are investigating a